afternoon, collectors. Greetings from Minnesota. I was really happy that Paul Lundberg was able to join us this afternoon, and then we're going to be doing some questions that you have asked online and a couple that I have prepared for Paul. And I thought I'd start by just, in case you don't know anything about him, I thought I'd just share a little bit. Paul's been with the company since 1998 and has been working on giftware and villages since then. And you really like to get out and hear what the collectors have to say, which
I do.
I enjoy as well. And since it isn't possible for us to get out to the stores this year, we thought we'd invite you to come in and chat a little bit about what you've been doing. Before we get started, we are going to have a little contest this time. The first person, I'm going to read this so I make sure I get it right. The first person to guess closest without going over the answer will win a signed copy of Paul's illustration for the Snowy's Diner. And the Snowy's Diner is one that we're going to be talking about today. Send your guess into our online comments, and Nate will monitor answers until we get a winner. And the winner should then send an instant message to us with their name and mailing address, and we'll get this out to you. And here's the question. Are you ready? Without going over the total, how many village pieces has Paul designed for us at Department 56? And you've been here since?
97, I think, 98, 97 or 98.
Okay, all right. So
Remind
since
them you're taking entries now until
we are taking entries from now until the end of this segment. So you have just a short window of time to place your guesses. So the number of pieces, whole numbers only, no fractions. So you haven't designed any half pieces yet.
Not that I know.
Okay, all right. Okay. And remember, Paul has designed North Pole. You're now the primary designer for North Pole. Most of our licensed pieces, which includes The Grinch, Disney, Peanuts, and Harry Potter, which everybody is very excited about. Paul, let's start by just getting a little bit about you and your background and
Sure.
what brought you to designing pieces here at Department 56.
Okay, so I started out I got a degree. I've been painting my whole life and drawing and painting my whole life, but I got a degree in graphic design, which got me on the road towards commercial art. I worked as a graphic designer for a little bit of time, and then I went through basically a creative placement service that got me the job here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That I didn't know. See,
Yeah.
you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
And did you know anything about us before you started?
I did. My mom had, I think, I can't remember how many are in the original Dickens.
7.
7. I think she had like 5 or 6 of them.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah.
So you
And
were familiar with it?
Yes, for sure.
No, I didn't know a thing about the company when I answered an ad in the paper.
Yeah. I was excited, obviously, to come in an
Yeah.
interview for the job. I was really excited. So yeah.
Cool. What advice would you offer a young person today that's thinking about a career in art?
Oh,
Is there anything, as far as a challenge or?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess more than anything, for me, it would be just to work hard and do everything you can to get your foot in the door. That's what I did here. Just worked really hard and pushed. And if you have any kind of skill, obviously, you kind of go with that.
Now, you mentioned painting. You still enjoy what kind of painting? What medium?
Back in the day, I kind of always painted watercolor.
Boy, to me, that's the hardest.
Yeah, and I did back in the day. Wildlife art was really popular, so that was kind of my focus, is wildlife art. And now I do. It was a highly detailed, really realistic stuff, and now I kind of do more loose stuff. And I do black and white. I don't know why, just kind of more drawn towards black and white.
Any photography?
And that's what it's based off of, photography. I take lots of black and white photography. I do my own developing, so I shoot with old vintage cameras. And
cool.
So I started painting, some of my better photographs that kind of translate to paintings. So
that's and you still try to do some of that, just for fun?
Oh yeah, I do it all the time. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yes.
Okay, well, when we posted that we knew you were going to be here, we posted some questions we posted online that we wanted some questions. But I thought we'd start with 2 pieces And you chose these because these obviously are two of your favorite for 2020. So let's briefly go through the process. We've got Snowy's Diner here that I've got it lit now, but if you need to turn it, we'll unplug it so you can turn it and show the back or whatever you'd like.
Sure.
And tell us a little bit about the design process that goes into something like a North Pole piece.
Okay, did you want me to talk about the whole design process from start to finish? Or
Sure.
just this? Okay,
Yeah.
so I think anytime I've done presentations or talked, I've talked about our Wednesday meetings, which Wednesday meetings we've been doing it forever since I started here, and we call them our art review, Wednesday art review meetings, and it's not just art review. We we kind of go over direction and anything that's going on, any changes, maybe mid-year changes. And coincidentally, we're kind of at the end of our 2021 design process and starting our 2022 design process.
Wow.
So yeah, right now we're, the last couple of meetings we've talked about, we have our basically annual kind of brainstorming, where we come up with line lists for each village. And that's,
So you brainstorm and get lots of ideas and
Yes,
then
yes.
narrow it down?
yeah, we have a running list of for each village of new ideas, and then hopefully we bring new ideas. The lists go on forever. We have years and years of ideas, but they kind of get whittled down as we actually do the pieces. So yeah, like I said, we're just starting that process right now. So probably in the next couple of weeks, we'll be bringing the new ideas to the table. And then at that point, we kind of the better ideas kind of bubble to the top. And I don't know how many we're going to do in North Pole this year, but those are usually the ones that I work on. And once the line list is kind of settled, I will go back to my desk. And sometimes I guess at that point we look at get some direction from Rick as far as what pieces, if the pieces are complicated and there's animation, or if it's a licensed piece, we'll work on those ones first because they take a little more time in the production process.
Okay. And Rick is the one who kind of can take a look at these and say, yes, we should add something like a lighted sign, or
Yeah, yeah.
we can have a sign, but it can't be lighted because it would be too expensive.
Cost issues. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he
for
knows
sure.
all those production
For
things.
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And this is a smaller piece, so we could add the light. And it was kind of important. When you have a diner, you almost have to have a lamp or a lit, kind of sign to go
Okay.
with it.
So tell us about how this one came to be so darn cute.
So, thank you. This one, I think the diner had been on the list for a while, and I thought it would be cool to do a snowman in the middle of the diner. And I can't remember. I think I kind of pushed to get it done right away with the Snowy's theme. And I can show. I don't know how close I have to get, Nate, with
That's
this
okay.
sketch.
Hold it up.
But like I said, after the line lists are all figured out, I
That's
will
good right there.
go to my desk and we'll come up with like a sketch like this, which this one I kind of knew what I wanted to do.
Now, did you
So-
do that freeform, or did you do that on the computer?
No, this is freehand at this
Freehand.
point. Yeah, it's just kind of sketched up. And I'll bring, normally, this one I knew what I wanted to do, like I said. Normally I'll bring like 2 or 3 different versions of it. It'll be, if it's whatever, the gingerbread house, I'll bring 3 different versions of it. And then we can kind of discuss which one we like better. Some are a little more whimsical, some are a little more serious. But like I said, this one, I kind of knew what I wanted to do, so. And everybody kind of liked it, and it got approved. And at that point, once everybody likes it, I can, I'll go back to my computer and scan it. Nate, I gotta zoom in on this one again. You gotta tell me how I
That
am.
looks good right there, yeah.
So then I'll scan in the sketch and go into Illustrator and just kind of trace over the sketch in Illustrator and work out all the dimensions and get all the details on there, color it. And I'm just showing the front, basically the front views right here. But we'll do all the views at that point. So we'll do side views, back view, top view. Actually, I'll bring this to the next Wednesday art review meeting too. We'll go over that, final art. Everybody will sign off on it.
You do what?
And
what's
then
on the back.
I'll
you
build
even
a
do the top views.
top view, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to show what's wrong, because sometimes if a snowman, you obviously know it's round, but it's hard to tell if something's round just from a front view.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of show the top view. But and then we do models at that point too. So I'll get all the views done, print all the views out, and we'll build a 3-dimensional model just to make sure.
And you build that out of,
We just mount the printouts on tag board, so it's just
Okay.
tag board and hot glue, just kind of glue them all together. This
Okay.
one was a little bit more challenging. I had to wrap like paper around a styrofoam ball, a couple of styrofoam balls. So it was a little more challenging, but and we just do that. It's not. Sometimes you have to work out the details, but a lot of times it's just to set it in the village, make sure the size is right.
was
So,
this one sculpted here or overseas?
Overseas.
Overseas. So
Yeah.
then you would send the drawings and that paper model overseas?
Exactly.
And then,
And
Then what?
Usually, I think it's about probably 2 months before we see a sample, and they'll send us. Rick does the approval of the sculpt, so he'll actually look at the clay sculpts and say.
He gets
let's-
pictures from the
yeah,
factories?
They'll send him sculpts, yeah, and he'll approve them. And then the next time I see it, we'll see. It'll be like a first round sample of this, and the paint will be a little funky looking or whatever. We'll just kind of tweak it and add little details here and there. Make sure the decals, because this is decals on the scarf. You have to make the art, create the art for those, the final art. That's actually
so
a
the
decal.
scarf, the plaid on the scarf is a decal?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
interesting.
Yeah, it's easier. Obviously, you don't have to do all that hand painting, get little details like that.
And obviously over in China, they don't know what a snowman probably looks like as well.
Probably.
Not like
Maybe
we
up
do
north
here.
they do. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
not like we do here in Minnesota.
Yeah. So then at that point, we'll repaint the sample here, and we'll send it back to the factory, and then they will basically copy what we sent them.
And then, do you make the determination, or do they know where to put the glitter on?
We'll glitter
No.
it tier 2. Yeah, we glitter it, but that's kind of their kind of choice too. Whatever
So
works, we'll
they'll say, "What about this?" And do you ever change where that goes? Sometimes.
No, they get it pretty good. They've been doing it long enough.
Yeah, I
they got it
suppose.
figured out.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Well, we've got another piece here that we want to show you.
Should repeat the trivia question out loud.
Okay, we will do that. And the obvious question is, what is the difference in the design process between designing something that no one's ever been to the North Pole and knows what it looks like, and a license piece? And before we continue, are we getting some entries?
We've got a lot of entries. You wanna
Good,
repeat the
good.
question?
Now, the question again is, how many pieces has Paul designed in total, all of the villages combined, without going over the number? Are we getting anybody that's
We
close?
got a couple that are close.
Wow.
Couple
Tell
that
them
are
what they're-
close.
Tell them what they'll win.
They will win,
we're going to give them
these two.
these signed. So we get the original sketch for Snowy's Diner and the printout. A printout of the final art. for
And
Snowy's
wouldn't that
Diner.
be a great thing to frame and have? I can see it with a red mat hanging above your North Pole
Yeah,
display.
definitely.
That's a very cool and a very one of a kind of prize to win. So, give us your guess. Nate will tell us before we close today who the winner is, and then the winner will instant message us or email us their name and address, and we will get these safely between some cardboard and get them in the mail. Paul looks like he's already signed them,
Yep.
and you will have your very own original copies of some of Paul's art. So let's get back to talking about what is different when you're doing something licensed, like a Disney or Grinch or Peanuts or now Harry Potter, which
Sure.
has been very, very popular. This is really a pretty piece, by
I
the
love
way.
this piece. I love this piece. Yeah. So I guess with this one,
And this is called,
3 broomsticks,
okay.
and it's a part of what is the village that when they go to that snowy. Sorry.
Nate's
Nate's
like,
not
I
a
don't
Harry
know.
Potter. It's slipping my mind for some reason. It's maybe somebody can say on Facebook. I can't remember what the name of the snowy.
Oh, they go to a village that's like right by
It's
Hogwarts?
close to Hogwarts, yeah. And they
Yeah,
go there for
okay.
like Christmas, over Christmas. I can't remember, for some reason it's slipping my mind right now what it's called. Somebody will know for sure.
Somebody will tell me.
Yes, absolutely. I could tell me if I wasn't sitting here right now. But so the difference is this is obviously an existing building, so we don't need to. I don't need to do Hogsmeade. Yes, Hogsmeade Village.
Okay.
So I don't need to do for these villages. I don't need to do a pencil sketch. It's basically just kind of get some reference and just lay it out. And
And your reference would be what? The movie?
The movie parts, yeah. The movie obviously they show the front views, but we also what is it? Is the Harry Potterville
Is it Warner Brothers?
Is it the Warner Brothers studio? So I looked at some of this.
Universal.
Yeah, Universal. I looked at some of that stuff too, to kind of reference some of those
Okay.
buildings. So
Do
and
they send you some like guides?
No,
No?
not at all, no.
Oh,
Yeah, so it was
Okay.
just us kind of doing the research and figuring it out. But I had to simplify, and they don't have. Obviously, it just show the front view in the movies. There's no side views or back views, so that stuff you have to kind of finish up. And we keep it as simple as possible on the back and sides. They kind of
Show the
asked us
backs.
to do that.
Mhm.
Sure. They kind of ask us to keep it simple because it doesn't really exist. So
I like all the snow on it though.
Yeah.
You know, the steep roof line and all the like field stone. Would you call this?
yeah, I guess that's what it is. But this is all existing stuff, so it's really just kind of adapting it to Village, where some of the other stuff like the Disney, that you actually do have some more kind of creative license to do things with.
And this is made out of
This is resin,
resin as opposed to porcelain, and why?
just to get the detail. I mean, amazing details. This would be really difficult to do in porcelain, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of attachments. So with resin, they can. I think they can probably pull these back windows, pull them right out of the mold, so they don't have to have, it doesn't have to be attachments. Or if it was porcelain, it all have to be attached onto the piece, which is
And
time consuming and
Time
expensive.
consuming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what is different about getting your designs, which you can show?
I could show this. Yeah, I forgot to show this. This is the artwork for the 3 broomsticks. So it's basically a front and a side view. And like I said, this was created. This was, sketch and final art all at once. It just went right to the illustrator and kind of drew it out. So it's kind of fun doing that, and especially for Harry Potter, it was. You don't, as you watch the movies, you're not thinking of all of the facets of the building. So me being able to work on all the buildings, especially Hogwarts, you really get to see the whole layout of the building because you do all the research and you figure out where everything is. Then you go back and watch the movies again, and it's like, oh, I know where all that stuff is. I know where they are right there. So
That's
it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good thing you're a fan of Harry Potter.
Big fan. That's why my inspiration for this kind of stuff is just purely just kind of fun and creative. And my inspiration for this is probably more like kind of a history of my kids, because my kids are obviously my 2 daughters got me into this, watching it with them. So it's just so much of a part of our history, and my kids growing up watching this and waiting for the next movie to come out.
So are they impressed with what Dad has done?
I don't know. I guess they kind of are, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a few questions,
right.
and let's see if you can answer any of these. Are we still getting some responses,
Yep,
Nate?
we are.
Okay. Would like to see a new Grinch building fashioned after the 2000 pieces, such as the Whoville Post Office. They'd like it fancy with all the swirls like in the movie, and they want a vehicle with it as well.
A vehicle too.
Yeah.
So that one, it's kind of tough for me to answer that one because we only have the license right now for the book. We had the license way back when we did those. We had the movie license. which
So
are 2
that's
separate
why
licenses.
those were done out of a completely different
Yes.
medium. They were more like Snow Village. They were shiny.
And they were based right out of the movie.
Okay.
Those were basically, I think they were pulled right from the movie scenes from the movie, just like the Harry Potter stuff.
Okay.
Now, what we do now is, I think it's pretty much, the accessories are kind of still based off the book, most of them, but the buildings that we do are just kind of made up buildings.
Okay. Yeah, because they don't
Yeah.
show everything.
Yeah, the book doesn't have a ton of buildings in it.
Okay, this is a good one. When you set out to design a new building, do you have criteria first, or do you just go with whatever you fancy? For example, if you have to make a residential building or shop or some sort of professional building, how do you decide what buildings get made?
Yeah, that's we have the line list that I talked about earlier, the big huge running line lists. Those are kind of, the marketing kind of separates those into categories. So it'll be, food places, candy. If it's North Bow, it'll be candy. It'll be residence, town type of buildings, and
Businesses,
whatever.
yeah.
Businesses, yeah, it'll be kind of separated out. And I think, when we do our brainstorming and come up with our lists, a lot of times the person that brings the idea to the table will say, we'll done a little research and said the last time we did a post office, for instance, was 10 years ago or 12 years ago or 15 years ago. So we do a little research on that.
Okay.
And then when we put the final list together, we'll make sure we haven't done, if it's a piece that's done over and over, like a fire station or a police station, we'll make sure we haven't done it too recently. So there is criteria, some
Okay.
criteria. But
So you
sometimes
don't
it's-
you're not just able to sit at your desk and draw whatever you want.
No, we have lists we go off, but sometimes it is just fun, sketching, and if everybody likes it, you just run with it. So yeah, sometimes it is.
Will we be seeing another Halloween piece like Dr. Lunatic's Laboratory or The Monsters of the Deep?
That would be a question for Scott.
Okay, we'll save that for Scott.
Yes, I don't do
Okay.
Halloween stuff, so.
Okay, now this one, the person that, and I'm going to read it just the way he wrote it on Facebook.
Oh no, I know.
You know which one this is? It's
And I
Paul
know who
Lundberg,
answered.
the man, the myth, the legend! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! This is from Brandon in
I know it's
Arkansas.
Brandon,
Yeah.
yeah.
What building do you hope to design for the I can't even say it. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter. That's hard.
So, yeah, it is. So I did think about this, Brandon, and I think we've done a lot of the buildings, and I just went back. I'm on right now. I've watched these movies so many times, it's not even funny, and I'm actually watching them again. So I think I'm on 4 right now, which is the 4th is the wizard. It's the now I'm gonna
Blank out.
blank
Yeah.
out. It's where they have the Triwizard tournament, and that's what I would go. I think what I would do is, because I love the dragons, Harry Potter dragons are fantastic. So I would probably do in the Triwizard tourney, the first challenge, they have to fight a dragon to get this golden egg. So there's this kind of rocky kind of stadium because there's people around it. So it's this rocky stadium with the golden egg in the middle, and the dragon is defending it. So I think maybe like that piece is an animated piece, Harry flying around with the.
And Rick will tell you if you can do it or not.
If it's feasible, yeah. So that would be I think that would be a cool piece. Maybe it'd be a really more of an expensive accessory.
Yeah, it probably
Or a
would be.
really detailed accessory.
Is there a piece you've designed that has special meaning to you personally?
Probably, yeah. I used to, back in the day, I worked on some Snow Village pieces. So the one that I remember is, and now I'm gonna space out on the name of, but I think it's called it's the Harmony House. It's a Snow Village piece
Okay,
called the
yeah,
Harmony
the
House.
Harmony House. That
Yes.
is what it was called.
And that was based off of my grandma's house. So that
And if
one-
you don't remember, the Harmony House was one of those houses it had a special little sign, and you could have it personalized. That may have said, Mary Smith's music lessons or
Yeah.
whatever.
And had a little snowman playing the violin and a little gate. in
Yep,
front. But
yeah.
it was actually based off of my grandma's house, and so that's kind of cool.
That's very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And then, of course, the last question was, is there more Harry Potter coming?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
This was really fun to have you here. How are we doing, Nate? Are we about ready to
Ready?
pick a winner? Do we have someone close?
So we had 2 people with the same answer that were
Uh-oh.
closest.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So we'll have to think of something for both of them.
How about if?
You want to repeat what I just said? I don't know if I'm
Okay, yeah. We have 2 people that kind of tied for the winning answer, and I think what we'll do is we will take this sample set and have Paul sign the sample set. So the first person will get the print and the signed print and the signed sketch, and the second person will get the signed sample. So we have something we can do for
So we have
2 winners.
282 was the closest.
282 was the closest, and
Tell them how many in total.
the total is
286.
286.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah,
was very
that
close.
was very close. And who are our winners?
Brady Hecht
Brady Hecht
and Rosie Hurtado.
and Rosie Hurtado. Well, I
Awesome.
know Rosie. I don't know Brady, but congratulations to
Congrats.
both of you. Rosie's out in California, and She
Very
is
cool.
also one of our entries into our Halloween display contest that you and Tom and Rick and Scott are going to judge a little bit
awesome.
later this fall. They're
Awesome.
sending in vignettes, and for the vignette contest, you have to use one current Halloween piece, and you can use any accessories you want with it. And I have a bunch of entries that have been sent in already, and you'll be doing it from their pictures that they send in. And
Sure. That sounds great.
we'll let them know in October who the winner for that is. And you have until September 15th to enter that contest. So Brady and Rosie, congratulations. Paul has designed 286 pieces so far, and hopefully another 286 to come.
That'd be great.
Yeah, thank you
Definitely.
so much for being with us today. And
Thank you for
next
having me.
time, we will have Scott Enter, who is our primary Snow Village artist, and he does also Snow Village Halloween. But I think we're going to talk about Christmas next time. We're going to talk about some of his Christmas pieces. So until then, have a very safe Labor Day weekend, and we will see. Oh, well, I guess Labor Day is after Scott comes on. I keep thinking Labor Day is earlier than it is, but we will see you September 3rd. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.